So here we are for another awesome video on the practical steps you can take to move your career in the direction you want to go, get paid what you're worth, and hopefully even look forward to going to work on Mondays. In our last video, we talked about how to improve your training and skills and basically develop your own career program, your own degree program. In this video, I want to talk about how to cover the experience gap. So when you show up for the ideal job, the perfect job that you want, they're going to want to know what's your training and what's your experience. What have you done recently? What are you capable of doing? And so how do you get experience for a job you want when your current job is nothing like that? And the short version is this isn't going to be cheap or easy. So one of the avenues that you could go that we talked about in the last video is that you could go to school, you could take a course, you could enroll in some sort of program so that you can learn those, so that you can learn the skills. And if you enroll in a course and you go there, they'll have some hands-on training so that you can get a little bit of experience. But that's not the same as real-world work experience. So what a lot of people find is they go enroll in a certificate program. They go through the course, pass the test, get a little bit of hands-on experience, and get their certificate, their degree, whatever it is. They apply for a job, lay that certificate on the HR manager's desk, and the HR manager asks the next most obvious question is, well, do you have any real-world work experience? Because at the end of the day, HR managers know that real-world experience is what matters. Degrees are essentially useless, right? Regardless of what anybody says, even the HR managers, they'll require a degree, but deep down in their heart, they know that the degree is useless. What they want to see is real-world experience, and getting that experience when you don't have the experience, you can't get hired. It's the catch-22. How do you get the experience if they won't hire you to do the job, and they won't hire you to do the job without the experience? So what do you do? Well, it's going to require some effort on your part. And this is where a lot of people get hung up. This is why people don't advance beyond where they're at. So I'm going to tell you a story about somebody who did this better than lots of people do this in different ways, but one gentleman that I know did this extremely well. He had a friend, he was a machine operator, basically load parts into a machine, push the start button, right? Making, I don't know, what, $9, $10 an hour, load a part in a machine, push the start button. And he said, I can do better than this. I have more capacity than this. I just need training and experience. So he knew somebody who did IT work and needed help. And what he did is he went to that person and volunteered his time, volunteered to work for free. And his condition was very simple. Teach me how to do this and let me work with you. And so they worked out a deal. Evenings, weekends, any spare time that he had, he was over there working and helping that guy with his IT projects. And in the course of I don't know, a year, he developed a fair amount of knowledge and hands-on experience. And that experience could have landed him a job. Now, he looked at it and said, well, heck, I know how to do the easy stuff. So he went out and started taking on side jobs on his own that were, if they were just simple jobs, that's actually how I met him. He worked up a whole network system for me in my business. And that was one of his first jobs. He was just starting out into this thing. And so he worked cheap for me because he was developing experience and a reputation. So he came out, did a great job for us. And it was just a simple job, but then he grew and he kept building that in. So he went from making, I don't know, $8, $9 an hour as a machine operator. Last I heard, I think he was charging $135 an hour, and that was a few years ago. He might even be above that at this point for his time in his business. He's self-employed, charging $135 an hour for IT work because he's become very, very good at it. And so here's an example. He leveraged this into a business rather than an employment route, but he could very easily have gained enough experience helping out a friend that when he applied for a job, he could have got an entry-level IT job because he would have had a base foundation level. He could do the basic fundamentals enough to get an entry-level job, which would have enabled him to continue to grow his experience. So there are a number of ways of doing this. The key is that you be creative, find the method that is right for you. And of course, he had an advantage. He knew somebody that was already in the business. Maybe you look at it and say, well, I don't know anybody that's in the business that I want to go into. And so you may have to be a little bit more creative. And I think this is where the coaching comes in, because in a coaching environment, we can have a conversation. You say, well, this is my limitation. And we have a conversation, and maybe we can creatively come up with an action plan for you. So in these training videos, this is one aspect, but there's a reason why the coaching videos exist as well. Something for you to think about. All right, so there we go. That's this video. It's just a quick overview. This isn't all that there is to be said, but get you started thinking about what you can do to get the experience. All right, see you in the next video.